They just won the right to hold an election, Steve. So they're going to court I think next week to formulate when will that election be held, all that stuff. So I find out today, oh, suddenly Amazon was doing mandatory union busting sessions for months, but they stopped during the holidays. Maybe the COVID Omicron surge made them stop the daily mandatory union busting sessions. But I found out suddenly after the National Labor Relations Board gives them the right to hold an election, all of a sudden the union busting sessions are restarting today. So we were leaked a little snippet from one of these sessions. And guess what? The general manager at this warehouse in Staten Island was demanding that workers not scheduled to be in the meeting leave. I'm going to play the video. The audio is not amazing because it's from it's shot by a worker, but I think it's usable. We put captions. So you understand this is a mandatory training. Amazon calls it a training. It's a union busting session. And listen to the dynamic where the general manager is demanding that workers not scheduled to be there leave.
I just want to be very clear, guys, here.
We want to be.
Sorry,
I feel like we can ask questions.
I don't mean to cut you off.
To be able to answer questions.
I don't mean to cut you off, but I am asking everyone who is not part, who is not scheduled to be, to please leave the room right now. If you were not scheduled to be in this particular meeting, I said this 3 times. I'm asking you to please leave the room, and if you don't, you will be insubordinate. And I want to make sure all of you understand that if you refuse to leave the room once I asked you 3 times already, that you would be willingly insubordinate.
I want to understand how we're insubordinate.
Is there anyone here? Is there anyone inside the room who did not understand what I shared?
No,
we understand, but we also know that you understand that if you make us leave the room, that's a charge against Amazon.
Is this a non-work area?
All right.
Is this a non-work area?
I think I said it 3 times already.
Can you answer my question, Felipe?
3 times. If you were not scheduled to be in the room for this particular meeting, I asked you to leave the room. I asked you. We don't decided.
Yeah, we're staying.
We're staying. Not leave the room and be insubordinate.
We're staying. Felipe, we're organizing on our non-work time, non-work area.
This is legally protected collective action by the law. You know that.
That's the general manager.
Yes, Felipe, we're protected under Section 7A. We're protected under Section 7A.
I asked
And this is the same reason why we're in this room, because Amazon does a lot of things just like this against workers. Anybody can continuously breaking laws.
This is what we're going to do. We are going to get this session started, right? We're going to get this session started. I very clearly told everyone who was not scheduled to be here to leave the room, and you decided to stay. So we're going to get this session started, right?
By the general manager, and saying they will be insubordinate if we don't leave.
Thank you.
We'll file more charges. Get ready for them.
Here's the dynamic, Steve. Here's the dynamic. These mandatory union busting sessions that Amazon was doing in November, parts of December, and then they stopped for a little bit. The Amazon workers that are trying to form the union were kept disrupting the anti-union busting sessions. So they would, and we got video of that and audio of that, and we broke stories on that. Amazon labor union workers, so workers that are part of Amazon Labor Union, which is the group trying to form the union, they would interject and push back during the propaganda during these mandatory union sessions. They would push back on, Amazon executives saying, "Oh, well, they could force you to pay dues. Oh, well, they're a third party." Basically, they would keep pushing back throughout these daily, because at the time it was daily. They were doing these mandatory union busting sessions. So they would push back. So now all of a sudden, after Amazon stopped doing those sessions for whatever reason, they stopped for a month or two, probably due to COVID, Omicron was surging, probably not best to pack the rooms. Now, all of a sudden, after the National Labor Relations Board has granted them a union, a vote, not a union, but a vote for a union. Now they're bringing back the sessions, and it's almost like a VIP list of who is invited into the sessions. And interestingly enough, the people that they're asking to leave are the workers with Amazon Labor Union who are trying to unionize. So it's just very, very interesting that all of a sudden Amazon decides to hold these sessions again. All of a sudden, there's a very exclusive list of who can sit in the sessions and who cannot. And that they were trying to, they didn't say anyone associated with Amazon Labor Union must leave. But I mean, the source that sent it to me said, yeah, the people not scheduled to be there were us, the Amazon Labor Union workers. So it just shows you Amazon, again, they're trying to get rid of the dissent out of that meeting so that they could do full propaganda to workers to talk them out of voting yes for the union.
Wow. All I could say is wow. I mean, this is labor busting 101. This is exactly what they do everywhere you go. It's interesting to see because we've been so far removed from real honest union activity for so long, to see the seeds of it being germinated and watching it be watered, and then watching the comeback of the corporate lords as they try to fight back on it. It just, it's pretty wild to watch happening in real time. Let me throw this at you, Jordan. So when you had to watch the video of them union busting, when you watched the actual practice in action, were you convinced not to join a union? Did it push you over the edge? Did it make you go, I see the failure of my ways, I want to just work for you now? I mean, or was it like laughable? I mean, what was it that enticed you, if anything? Seriously, did they put anything on the table that made you say, oh, that's a good idea, maybe I won't join a union now?
Well, I could tell you my reaction, but I don't think my reaction is who they're not trying to influence me. So, for example, my reaction is the more you tell me to do something, or the more you tell me not to do something, I'm gonna question your motives. Why is this a training session? Yet there is no training. It's just telling me why I shouldn't vote yes on this union. But they're not trying to reach me, a 35-year-old who does this for a living and knows how corrupt and evil they are. Now, having been there, and this is Amazon, but this is also other places, when the bus drops off the workers, right? It's a whole lot of young people. It is a lot of younger people. I don't know the exact data, but my guess would be 18 to 25. Yeah, there's older workers too, but Amazon is hiring. They're hiring a lot of people with no maybe graduated high school or didn't graduate high school. A lot of people with no college degree. No disrespect to those people, but that's they're seasonal workers, that kind of thing. It's a lot of younger people, and younger people, most people, but younger people in particular, do not know their labor rights. Desperately need the job. Are more susceptible to the propaganda that, these Amazon work, because really in a lot of these mandatory union busting sessions, they make it seem like the workers trying to unionize, they're trying to scam you, the workers. They're trying to get you to pay dues, get you to fork over some of your hard-earned money to the union. They're actually, it's a business. It's not a union, it's a business, and they're trying to make profit. So not only at Amazon, but I would say at a lot of these places, you have a lot of younger workers, don't have a lot of other options, because we live in the United Corporations of America. We live in the economic Hunger Games, and they want to hold on to this job that is paying them at least $15 an hour at Amazon. Some benefits, even though they're working, 12-hour shifts, even though they're being watched. They have to meet quotas. If they even leave for 5 minutes to pee, reprimand. I mean, we know all the horror stories about Amazon. So for me, Steve, no, it would make me more likely to join the union. But the reason that general manager is demanding that the Amazon labor union workers leave the meeting is so that they have direct access to the workers that aren't part of the union effort, so that they could propagandize them and convince them that they're being scammed.
Let me tell you why I asked you that question. If you go back and you look at like Countrywide and you look at Citi and all those different mortgage companies that blew up the economy in '08 and '09, one of the primary things they did was they preyed on young people that had never ever had a job in their life and said, "We'll give you obscene riches basically if you'll just do this horrible thing." And they preyed on the young people's minds, and they preyed on their lack of knowledge of the world around them, and literally forced them to become criminals, basically. And you could see the exact same sort of thing with the young community there as a notorious rich son of a bitch that has like absolutely no pulse. I mean, this guy is a sociopath as they're preying on them, trying to prevent them from doing anything in their own best interest. Once again, they always find the young, they find the vulnerable, they find the weak, they find someone that doesn't know, the ignorant, whatever it is, and they predate upon them. And once again, this is what a union's there for. A union literally protects the weakest link in the chain to ensure that no man is left behind. There's a union saying, an injury to one is an injury to all. And I think that when you have them older workers in there that know better, that have been around the block, the people that are already ready to fight for a union, they know exactly what the hell time it is. The Amazon folks know exactly what time it is. And it's no secret why those union busting meetings started again, because they probably thought they had it won. They probably thought that this wouldn't come to be. They probably thought they were in good shape. And when all of a sudden they were granted the right to do this, it was like, oh shit, we got to get back to it. I bet you they didn't see that coming.
Thanks for watching, and make sure to tune in to Status Coup's daily live stream Monday through Thursday at 5 o'clock Eastern Time and Fridays at 4 o'clock Eastern Time.